Kia ora, I'm Zinga, or Antonio, and today I'm going to be congratulating you for coming third. Well done, that was really cool. Obviously, I'm referring to Down Underdog. Not a lot of players come to their first tournament and win, let alone come third. I know that I went 0-2 in my first two tournaments for Smash Ultimate or even Smash 4, so well done. Secondly, though, I want to kind of give you a little bit of advice going in, since you seem very motivated to improve. So I'm just going to throw my hat in the ring and see if you would like any sort of tips or tricks. And by that, I mean I'm going to just give a bunch of tips now, and you decide whether you like them or not. Now, some background is I am Zingar. I am the player on the left here, even though my tag is on the right. And I used to be a top player in Wellington. Well, New Zealand, really. But at this major tournament, I came second to Isage, the then best player in Wellington, now best player in New Zealand. And I've been block, you know? I'm a top player in a couple of other platinum fighters, but, I'm not saying that to glaze me. I'm just really saying that just to say that I've been around the block and I've coached a couple people. Now, another person who's been around the block is Lunafrost, the person who you versus. Oops, sorry. The person that you versed here. Sorry, here, right here. They used to be the best Kazuya in New Zealand, actually, as well as a pretty good player in Wellington. Now, the biggest tips that I want to give is I don't want to give any technical tips because that is way out of my depth. I don't play Kazuya. I'm not good at them. I'm only going to give a couple of fundamental tips which helped me and helped others along the way. I coach a fair amount of players in Wellington. Well, I used to at least, and overseas I coach a couple of players. And here are just a couple of tips that would help you sort of gather your feet as a person who's recently come into the competitive sphere. As well as this, I'm going to have the VOD muted because I think that while Macap did a great job commentating, he's a bit loud. All right. So, the first thing I want to look at, I'm going to mention three things. I'm going to say that right off the bat, but I'm going to divide them now. So, the first thing I want to say is always predict where your opponent's going to be rather than attack them where they are. Now, throughout the VOD, we'll see this maybe flip flop, but the general rule is that you should always be throwing out an attack or putting yourself in a position where you think the opponent will make themselves vulnerable. That's a lot to say, but let's go into the first interaction where you run up and you grab them, right? This isn't a bad choice. In theory, you caught them trying to shield or trying to be preemptively defensive, right? And that's great. That can work. However, then we get into this interaction where you attack them where they are, i.e., down tilt, and then he counterattacks you, right? So, what you want to be doing is you always want to be predicting where they are, right? Here, again, you do a electrical godfist, or actually probably just wind godfist. I don't know what the not empowered one is called, by attacking them where they are. Then you follow up with a forward air, and then you follow up with an F smash after the F tilt here. Now, I don't know if that was a misinput, but it certainly wasn't a prediction on where they are, right? As you can see, Luna here, she's very old to the game, right? She tried to predict you running in. And instead, you kind of shortened it by throwing out a grab here, right? Now, a very common problem that players face starting out is that they'll just throw attacks at where they are. Like you see right here, uh, there was a couple of whiffs. Sorry. So you whiffed at F smash, dash attack comes out here, two whiffs here, a roll in here, then you reacted to where Lunafrost was rolled in, and you went for a grab. Let's look at that again. Couple of whiffs, take chase, F smash, here we go. Roll in here. You run into that roll, and you try grab them. Now, if Luna was back at her prime, she would have probably dashed in and then punished you for this. So always keep in mind that you want to hit people where they're going to be. A very simple tip for this is overextending just the slightest amount. You always want to either commit the slightest amount, like we see right here. An interaction happens where you put them in a Pick chase, you run up to where they are, and you throw out a move. Now, what you could have done instead is just run up, dash back, and then punish them because they threw out a fucking insane option. Sorry, I shouldn't have sworn. Um, but yeah, just in general, keep in mind that you want to be hitting people where they're going to be, right? Now, the second thing, and this is more a speculative thing, is pause right now. In your head or out loud, say how often you look at the opponent's model. 50, 20%, 70%, whatever. Say that out loud. Okay. If your answer was anything below 100%, back to the drawing board. This sounds like a very simple tip. Always focus on your opponent. Never take your eyes off the opponent. And by that, I mean look at their model, always look at it. The reason why is because a lot of players overestimate how much they look at the opponent. They often track back to themselves to make sure that they've got some insurance on where they are. This is bad. Always trust your movement, trust you know where you're going to be, and look at your opponent. At most, you should feel where you are in relevance to the opponent. Now, the third thing I want to say, and I'll probably end the VOD after this, is about the recovery, and we'll see if it comes up. Otherwise, let's see if there's any interactions that we can learn neutral with. So right here, neutral is reset. We're dashing back. We're dashing back. We're not getting close enough to them to bait, an option. We're just playing very safe. And then, did you catch that? Let's look closely. This is how you can tell that Lunafrost used to play this game. So, dash forward. You dash forward. You give them something, right, to react to. Then you dash back. You were hoping. Well, I'm not sure if you're doing this intentionally, but in the idea of it, you're hoping that Lunafrost reacted to the first dash in by dashing in. She didn't do that. She spell dodged. So she dashes back. You dash back. You dash in. She dashes forward. She dashes forward again. Then she dashes back. In reaction to her dash forward, you ran in and grabbed, which baited you into potentially being whiff punished. She could have missed it, but the general idea was there. Again, she was there, and you did an F tilt. I won't pause it this time. She's right here, and you're going for a grab. Grab? Nope. Roll? Then you're probably going to dash and grab. Nope. Maybe? Oh, I think that was the start of frames. Dash in. Oh, you go in for a raw. Nice. Good stuff. And that's pretty good. Especially because, it's free shield pressure, right? Ah, they did a spot dodge. After their whiff, you run in immediately. And I by no means don't want to say that you should always overcommit, right? But keep in mind their options, right? Whenever someone whiffs a move, generally their first instinct is to do something defensive. So there you play the rock, paper, scissors of either punishing their whiff, as in if it's a laggy move, like let's say Bowser F smashes a neutral, either you poke, maybe you call them out trying to run into you, right? Like if they ran into you with a dash attack, or you run in and you delay your timing so that you catch their spot dodge. Now, actually, sorry, that would be a whiff punish. The dash in is if they run away from you. Apologies. I hope that clarified it. All right. So the last thing I want to look at, and I hope you get put in a disadvantage. Here we go. Beautiful. Okay. Don't air dodge to the ledge. Well, sorry, air dodge to the ledge. Never air dodge to the stage. Never air dodge here. Always go the safest possible route to the ledge, which is generally low and then up. You never want to put yourself in this arc where someone can hit you, especially a sortie, right? Right here. The next rule is never put yourself here, but also never overextend an up B past hit, always make sure you're going to the ledge because you want to make sure that you're giving yourself the best chance of recovery. The problem with having your up B or neutral B delay you on the ledge here is that you leave yourself very, very vulnerable. Now, this wasn't the most technical breakdown. There's a lot of other things I could have looked at. And honestly, I should have probably pre-watched the VOD to kind of get my points across more. But I hope some of these tips are helpful. You know, I definitely say to play with other players in the scene or get advice from other players in the scene, and so you can grow faster and improve. Otherwise, keep playing online. Whenever you can make offline tournaments, we'd love to have you here.